contemporary music, we call contemporary music something that is just music. If we do call contemporary music, is because we don't want even to approach the matter. I invite you, don't remain in this kind of ideas, because you are going to cut your life in two halves, and you are going to lose one half dramatically. Music doesn't stop. It's a continuous development. We must be aware, because at a certain moment things were going in that direction. Could you imagine Schoenberg composing with dodecaphony, Bartók composing in open atonality but strongly related to tonality, but in the way of the folk music, you know? Making connection, a chordal connection, not really coming from the classical education at his back. A moment of incredible richness. Of course, it was not just Schoenberg feeling the necessity to go beyond tonality. It was a matter of fact with Wagner. There, at a certain moment, you say there is no chance anymore to can make with tonality something expressing the needing to be part of a contemporary world around, because the music was already into the constriction to be an alive museum. At the end of 19th century, the industry of making music was already kind of industry, no? Orchestras, they are paid to be orchestras. Take care, this is an important fact. Until Liszt was rehearsing Tristan with an orchestra of amateurs, people that normally were having a daily work totally different. They were amateurs. He did 61 rehearsals. Could you imagine? Just to play Tristan. But that was fantastic. I mean, this is magnificent. Tristan is a very difficult piece to be produced. Still today, for an orchestra, to play properly this music, to make it easy as has to be, the main difficulty, you know, the verticality, this kind of understanding this music vertically instead of horizontally, you know, and discovering when I say you take care, the tempo here goes into a kind of entropic movement. What does it mean? It means simply that there is no need to go somewhere. We already are somewhere in which we have to stay, and the tempo is into kind of entropic phenomenon. We can stay, we can stay there. And there are other moments in which we have this necessity to go, the progression in Bruckner. No? Many were at the beginning of the 20th century, there was the big discussion. Is Bruckner an actual composer? All those huge progression, and here and there, and again. Of course, if you see only from that point of view, of course, you have a different perspective. But if you understand clearly what you have to do inside a section, an entire section, where you have to go back, and then the tempi, the different tempi, the marvelous second thing to be a cellist and to play the second thema of the third movement. It's the pure beauty. It's the pure beauty. It's something, and everything is so natural. All the secondary parts. You don't even, if you are not listening them as a secondary part, they are perfectly moving around along the necessity of this marvelous. This capability to move the harmony in unexpected regions, Normally the regions, the novelty, harmonically speaking, in Bruckner, is the capability to be, you go toward a dominant situation. The dominant situation became a focus, harmonically speaking, and then there is suddenly a moving half step in a completely new key, or all the progression going down by falling of major third at the beginning. Fa dies minore, re maggiore, si bemolle minore, sol bemolle maggiore, re bemolle maggiore finally. This progression, it's incredible, harmonically speaking, and it sounds so necessary. Totally necessary. You say, puff, extraordinary. Of course, if we are able to understand that, and if we are able to manage this huge complexity, because the complexity is not the complexity of the material. The material is somehow easy. What's difficult is to make easy all the transition, all the moment of reflection on one subject to the next, to the other one, to the chorale, this beautiful chorale that say the necessity to have a moment of rest. Yes, and now, and we go, and we move, and we go on. Let me go back to the matter of contemporaneous. This is important because otherwise you are not taking care of your own future. And this is a pity, because we have extraordinary, beautiful music. Now, there are fantastic composers here around, but you have to provide yourself of the knowledge to can understand this kind of aesthetic. Why composing with this kind of noises? They are not self-evidently noises. They are not at all. We need to step in and to start listening. Of course, for you the necessity is to start listening in a historical perspective. Listen, always. What do you know, for instance, of the second Viennese school? Schoenberg, Berg, Weber. We need to listen at that music to understand what was going on at that moment, and to compare, the second Viennese school, that was the willingness to make a new system, to build up a new system. Because of course they, composing with atonality, the matter was, as soon as the 12 sounds, the 12 degrees, chromatical degrees, were presented, the piece was over, no? And so, die kleine Klavierstücke, Weber composing the piece for violin and piano, I don't know, 5 minutes, 4 minutes and a half, something like that. The cello pieces for almost nothing.